Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back. So as you would have seen by the title of today's video, we're here yet again to talk about another Mattel Creations Monster High release. I feel like I was just here talking about Lenore Lumington, like her release just happened, but they're already doing another one, so like I already have to make another video. This doll is going to be an Operetta doll, and we have known this doll was coming for a little bit, but like this is the first time that we've seen actual good quality images of her. And as always, I have opinions. Of course, those opinions might differ from yours, and that is totally chill. Spoiler alert, I don't really like this doll. So if you love her, absolutely feel free to let me know in the comments. Just like, please don't be angry if we do have different opinions. But yeah, just kind of as always with the Mattel Creations releases for Monster High, I can't just let it happen and like be quiet about it. I have to talk about it because I feel like there's always something I want to talk about. So that is what we're going to be doing today. Hopefully that will be fun for y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff that you already know about. I've got like extra links and stuff in my description. But yeah, I kind of just want to hop into the details of this doll. So first off, the like important details, I guess you would say, is that she is going to be $50 US. Like I said, she's releasing this upcoming Friday. Like I said, I literally didn't even say that. I don't know why. I don't know why I was under the assumption that I'd already gone over that. But yeah, April 12th, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm sorry. However, she is for Fang Club members only, so that does cost $10 extra if you aren't already a Fang Club member, or if your membership expired. It's been around for about a year, so like if you are someone who bought it right when that program came out, your membership might have expired without you noticing, because like mine did, and I didn't get an email notification or anything. I just had to manually check. So if you have to rebuy the membership, or if you want to buy the membership to get this doll, that's an additional $10 US, bringing her up to between 50 and 60, we'll say, depending on whether you've already purchased the membership. It's not the worst price that Mattel has given us. The last Fang Club doll, like Fang Club exclusive doll that we got, was the Gulak, and I honestly thought that that doll looked like she was worth it. We're gonna get into whether I feel the same about Operetta, but yeah, that's kind of like the essential information, is when and where can you get this and how much money will it cost you. So now we can take a look at the doll, and my first response, I guess, is that this just feels a bit underwhelming. And comparing again to the Gulak, because I think that that's like a literal one-to-one comparison, like they're both Fang Club exclusive dolls. I think that's the best comparison we can make. I don't even like Gulia, okay? Like, I've never been a Gulia fan. I've never bought any of her dolls, but I think that that doll was better designed than this one. This just overall feels a little bit forgettable to me. I'm really sorry. Like, I'm I'm gonna get a lot meaner, so like I shouldn't already be apologizing. Again, if you like this doll, that is so super. I'm glad that something in this world can make you happy. But like for me, it just doesn't hit the same chord. It isn't, wow, this is amazing. And I said to someone on Instagram that the best way I can sum it up is, if this wasn't a Mattel Creations release, if this was going to be a doll that was going to be releasing on shelves, I feel like my eyes would just like gloss over her on the toy store shelves. Like, I don't think she would ever grab my attention. She's definitely not in the stock photos. Of course, you never really know how you're going to feel about a doll in person, or at least I don't, but right off the bat, I'm not like, wow, this is amazing, you know? Right off the bat, the only thing that I want to highlight, like before we delve in deeper to like the details of this doll, is the over like layer of her skirts, like the purple portion. I think this doll would be infinitely better if it didn't have the record print on that portion. I just don't think it's necessary or that it looks good. I know that historically, and even sometimes now, Monster High has had really outlandish prints, and like it's been kind of over the top, and that's fine. I think that sometimes it can be done well. I don't think that's the instance in this case, but especially with their G1 collector dolls, I kind of find it rather fascinating that they keep going with prints like this. Like, I think about the Valentine's Day Cleo and Deuce and that horrible Skelet print on Cleo's dress. Like, I understand if you're making a doll that is ultimately designed for children, that you might be a little bit more garish with the prints or a little bit more literal with the prints because it's for kids. Like, I can kind of understand that. And again, sometimes it can be done well, but I just think it's fascinating that they keep doing this for their adult collector releases. Like, these dolls are exclusively, not like exclusively, that's not quite fair. Like, kids could maybe enjoy them, but like they are marketed towards adults primarily. So I think it's fascinating that they keep doing this sort of design instead of like giving it more of an adult edge. I hope that makes sense. I almost said record players. They're not record players. They're just the vinyls themselves. But I just don't think that it was necessary, and I don't think that it looks good. Anyway, though, we're going to zoom on in to her outfit, not her face, because her face is actually the biggest problem that I have with this doll, and so I want to kind of like end on that. Zooming in on some of the details, I do think that the spiderweb print on the majority of her dress, like the main body of her dress, is really cool. Like the mesh layering looks really, really nice. I actually think it's quite fun. I think that the fact that it's not just printed on, but it's got like that mesh texture to it really does add a lot for the dress. So I like that a lot. I think that her little belt with the dice is actually like kind of fun. Like it's kind of cute. Ultimately, I don't have really a problem with the dress aside from that overskirt piece. Like I don't know. I think it'd be better without the records. And I also am not 100% sold on the idea that it was needed for this doll to begin with. She does have a bag that is kind of shaped like a guitar. It's very reminiscent of what she got with her original release. So I think that's a fun callback. There's some painted detail on there, which I appreciate. It's kind of hard to argue with that one because like I did like it on the original doll. And while this is slightly different, it is very similar. So like that I don't have a problem with. She's got her tattoos, some molded on gloves, and like that's all chill. I don't have an issue with that. Like for this section, we get to be positive, right? Even the shoes, I think that the shoes are totally fine. Although, I feel like this sounds so bizarre to say about these shoes because, like, they are really cool. Like, objectively, they're really interesting shoes with the piano keys and everything. But something about them just feels like they've already done them. Like, I don't think that this exact shoe has been done, not to my memory, for Operetta or any other Monster High character. But some of the elements just feel like they've been used before, and so they don't strike me as being particularly unique. So even though objectively these shoes aren't boring, they aren't exciting me in the way that you would expect a shoe like this to excite me. Maybe I'm just being mean though. Like that could just be me being a negative person about this doll. So like take that critique with a grain of salt. I don't know if anyone else is feeling that way. Again, the shoes are not like the main problem here. Picture of the box to throw up here because I really meant it when I said I'm saving the image of the face for last. It's a pretty simple box. It's not anything over the top or crazy, which I mean is again comparable to the Gulak Skulia that we got before. So like considering that standard for the Fang Club doll, I think this box is fine. I do feel like it's a little bit tall. Like there's a lot of space above her head, and I feel like it could have been a little shorter. But that's again, that's me being really, really nitpicky. We need to get to like the actual important part of this doll, which is undoubtedly her face and like the, I guess, neck and above we'll talk about. Positive things out of the way first. I think this headpiece is really, really cute. I love the fact that instead of having her pet come with her, it's like incorporated into her design. I can't remember her pet's name right now. I'm so sorry. But she has this spider pet and he's chilling out on her hair bow, like as part of her outfit. And I do think that is such a cute way to incorporate the pet because I think that it really does cater to the adult collector in the sense that it's not just this extra piece of plastic that like, you know, adult collectors could take or leave in my experience. Like I don't always mind pets. Sometimes I like them. Sometimes I don't. Some people really hate them. Some people love them. Like everyone's got different opinions, but I think incorporating the pet into her outfit is such a cute way to include the pet in a more adult manner, like in a way that is maybe more appealing for adults. I think that's absolutely precious. And I think it was very well done. I think the way his legs splay out, like reminiscent of the actual bow, it looks really good. Like that's all super solid to me. Her mask is just like her typical mask. I think it doesn't look really that different to me or like that crazy to me. I don't like the earrings. I can't decide if it's like the color or just that I think it needs more painted detail in general because there is sculpting on there with like the dice that tie into her belt. And I think I wish that the dice were highlighted rather than the skullette. Because like if you're not looking really, really closely, the dice kind of just get lost and you don't realize that's what they are. But I think that would have been cool to tie in more with her belt and have the dice be like black or something. But I also don't like the color that they chose because it's really, really an intense like magenta color that doesn't match with any other part of her color scheme. Like if you wanted to highlight the skullette instead, it could have been black or it could have been like a lilac color because she's got some lilac vinyl pieces on her dress. I don't know. Again, maybe that's a nitpick. Maybe I'm just being rude, but I am not obsessed with it. Also, we're getting into like bigger issues here. The hair, I find so boring. And that's not what I want to say about any doll, but especially like a Monster High collector doll, but I'm just so violently underwhelmed by it because yeah, she has like the cool rolled up bangs. But other than that, it's just long and loose. And I feel like we've seen this so many times, and I'm like kind of over it. And again, this is something that I was talking about with someone on Instagram. I understand when a playline doll has hair that's like a little bit more boring, because I get that with a playline doll, there's a more limited budget and it's got to be like selectively delegated. So with a playline doll, if we only get, you know, straight hair or just like rooted curly hair or just a ponytail or something, I'm more understanding in that regard, especially if they come with a very high quality or very detailed outfit, just because I get like the budget restriction there. But with a collector doll, to see such a boring hairstyle just hits a little bit worse. And especially for Operetta, this bothers me. This bothered me about Lenore too. Like, I thought that Lenore was a great opportunity for them to do a really cool like updo style, and they just didn't. But with Operetta, there are so many fun, like vintage inspired rockabilly type hairstyles that you could have given her and that she did get in some of her dolls in the past that were playline dolls. And I just feel like, especially with the style that she has, it's such a distinctive part of that style. Like, the hair is so immediately noticeable within that style, and it's like a hallmark of that kind of rockabilly style, that to not really give her that, again, I get that she's got the rolled bangs, but like, they could have done so much more. And so I feel like it hits a little worse just because the hair is one of the first things I think of when I think of that style. And they didn't really give Operetta that hair to the fullest extent. Now, final thing to complain about, but like, this is the biggest one. Credits to Welcome to Monster High Official on Instagram here for putting up this little like compilation picture. So on the left is, not Fearbook. That's the upcoming line. Was it Picture Day? I can't remember the line, but I'll put it on the screen here what line it was. But it's one of the old Gen 1 Operetta dolls. So you can get a really clear comparison of her face compared to the new Operetta face. And it is like a completely different face. I'm not usually very good with face molds, and even I can tell that this is like a different face mold. Like, her nose doesn't feel like it's quite correct, or at least it's photographed in a violently different way that makes it look like a different face sculpt, even if it's not actually. Though I have my suspicions that it's not the exact same face sculpt. The way that her lips are painted, I can't tell if it's the sculpt or the painting, but they've given her a different lip shape. The one that is the most striking to me is her eyes are a vastly different shape, like extremely different, not even close, which is a lot. But like, I'm trying to give this doll the benefit of the doubt, and I'm thinking about like the original Haute Couture dolls that all had different eye shapes compared to the original character. And I'm like, okay, you can change that. Like, I like her original eye shape. I think it was different and like fun, but okay, you can change it. The nail in the coffin for me is that her eyes are not the same color. Like, her original eyes are a like very, very light grayish blue. And now with the new doll, I know it's kind of hard to tell because like it's a small image, they're purple. Like, they are straight up not the same color. And I'm just absolutely baffled by this decision. I would understand if this were like a version of Operetta in G3, because at that point it's a totally different universe. If you're going to make changes to the character, if you're going to change their eye color, whatever, like, that's not a big deal to me, right? Like, I love G3. I'm fine with like the changes between the generations of these characters. But this isn't a G3 Operetta. This is meant to be a Gen 1 Operetta. So why are her eyes not even the same color? Like, I know that it may sound like a silly thing to be upset about, but I'm just really confused about why you would change like a core element of this game. Like, you know, you can like dye your hair. I guess you could have contacts in, but it's just very odd to me. And especially, again, for a doll that is not for a new generation. This is not designed for new fans to Monster High, like new kids who are getting into this. This is designed for people who have nostalgia for the originals or who liked the original designs and now like want to be able to purchase one. And this is not the original design anymore. Like, this, she looks so different compared to the old doll. Everything about her, like the shape of everything and the eye color, it makes her look like a literally completely different character. And it's absolutely bizarre to me. That's not even to bring up the green eyeshadow, which I don't think matches super well with the outfit that she was given for this Fang Club release. Like, I don't know. I'm someone who likes things to be very matchy-matchy. So like, I prefer eyeshadow to like match the outfit in some way, but also just the fact that they chose green. There's no green on any other part of her outfit, and she's got this vibrant red hair next to her. It does make me think of Christmas, so like there's that. But wow, am I really, really stuck on them just changing the eyes and like the shapes of things. And it's just a very odd decision. And I genuinely can't think of why they would want to do that. Obviously, I'm not in any department at Mattel. So like maybe there was a good reason, but it's just so strange. But yeah, guys, that is my rant. Basically, even like from first glance at this doll, I was like, something feels a little bit off. And then I kind of examined it and found little things that were bothering me, like the print of the skirt or like the shoes. I just didn't think were like that spectacular, or the hair. And then like the nail in the coffin really was the face. There just was a lot. And I feel like from one glance, this already didn't feel quite right. Like something felt off about this doll to me. And the more I look at her, the more I'm like, what is going on here? I'm very confused by this. So those are kind of my thoughts. Clearly, I will not be purchasing her. I think this is kind of another weird one from Mattel, which like isn't a surprise because almost every release of theirs is kind of weird. I think the only time that I've made a like dedicated video for a Mattel Creations Monster High release that was positive was for the Jennifer Fang Vote doll. I think that's literally the only one that I've ever like had a mostly positive experience or like mostly positive opinion to share. So that's super fun. Maybe you guys will completely disagree with me though. Maybe y'all love this doll. And if you do, that's super. Again, like if this makes you happy, I'm very glad for you. It simply does not make me happy and I can't be quiet about it. So that was me ranting on the internet for X amount of minutes about the new Operetta doll. Definitely let me know what your thoughts are about her or if you plan to buy her. At least the price is like more reasonable. I definitely thought that like the Ghoulia doll was a good like price point. I think this one's a little bit iffy, but like at least it's not $75 to $90. So there's that. We'll end on a good note there. But yeah, I hope you guys were able to enjoy my complaining today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.